The world's biggest reggaeton star is currently gearing up for the most significant performance of his life at the 2026 Super Bowl, but a massive $16 million lawsuit suggests that the voice that built his empire was never actually his to use. On January 14, 2026, a legal bombshell was dropped in a Puerto Rican court that claims Bad Bunny, along with his label Remus Entertainment, has been profiting off a stolen recording for nearly 8 years. The plaintiff, Tainaly Rivera, alleges that a signature voice line found in some of the artist's biggest hits was recorded without her consent, without a contract, and without a single cent of compensation. While the public expectation is that Bad Bunny is a self-made icon of Puerto Rican culture, the reality appearing in these legal filings paints a much darker picture of corporate exploitation and the borrowing of street credibility that never belonged to the artist. The first sentence of this case confirms the title's premise. Bad Bunny is facing a potential $16 million payout for allegedly stealing the voice of a former classmate and building a multi-platinum brand on top of it. This legal battle raises 3 critical questions that every fan needs to ask. First, how did a casual recording from a university hallway become the backbone of a global music career? Second, why did Bad Bunny's team ignore the legal warning signs after his ex-girlfriend successfully sued him for the exact same thing just years ago? And third, what does this mean for the 2026 Super Bowl performance, where this allegedly stolen voice tag is expected to be played in front of over 100 million viewers? We have tracked the money trails, the producer connections, and the specific timestamps in his 2025 album that prove this wasn't a one-time mistake, but a calculated business decision. Our deep dive into the recent filings shows a pattern of behavior where the vibe of a song is prioritized over the basic legal rights of the people who created it. We have pulled the court documents, mapped the timelines from his early university days to his current world tour, and consulted with entertainment lawyers to understand why this specific $16 million figure is being targeted now. To understand the pattern here, we have to look at the second most shocking point of this scandal, the Carlise precedent. According to reports from Entertainment Weekly on January 15, 2026, this is not the first time Bad Bunny has been accused of voice theft. In 2023, his ex-girlfriend, Carlise de la Cruz Hernandez, filed a $40 million lawsuit over the famous Bad Bunny Baby tag. In that case, the receipt showed that Bad Bunny's team offered her a mere $2,000 to buy the rights to her voice just days before an album release. When she said no, they allegedly used it anyway. This isn't just a minor oversight, it is a recurring strategy. The payout for the audience here is the realization that the king of reggaeton has a documented history of using women's voices to create a specific atmosphere for his music without providing them with legal ownership or fair pay. The new lawsuit from Tainaly Rivera suggests that the team simply moved on to the next voice once the first one became a legal liability. The 2023 case proved that the legal team was willing to gamble on a lawsuit rather than pay a fair market rate for the intellectual property that defines the brand. By looking at the new January 14 filing, we see that the legal strategy hasn't changed, only the victim has. But the number one most shocking revelation in the new January 2026 filing involves the specific producer, Roberto A. Hota Rosado, and the origin story of the tag. Per the court documents filed this week in San Juan, the recording in question dates back to 2018 when Rivera and Rosado were students at the Inter-American University of Arecibo. The filing alleges that Rivera recorded the phrase "Mira puñeta no me quiten el perreo" as a joke between friends in a common area. In English, this roughly translates to a gritty, high-energy demand to keep the party going. The reality, as stated in the lawsuit, is that this joke was then handed over to Bad Bunny and inserted into the multi-platinum hit Solo de Mi. It didn't stop there. The 2025 album, Debí Tirar Más Fotos, allegedly features the same voice recording in the track EOO, once again without Rivera's permission. This is the moment where the story shifts from a simple mistake to a systematic use of unlicensed material. The payout is clear. One of the most recognizable cultural tags in the genre was potentially a product of uncompensated student labor, and the artist continued to use it even after becoming becoming a billionaire. This specific revelation is what pushes the damages into the tens of millions, as the plaintiff argues that her identity has been used to sell millions of records and concert tickets across the globe. This brings us to our third major point: the PR motive behind the street image and the financial incentives for the label. Entertainment lawyers analyzed by Reality T on January 16, 2026, suggest that Bad Bunny's team relies on these organic, low-fidelity voice recordings to maintain his image as a grassroots artist who stayed true to his roots. If the voice sounds like it was recorded on a phone in a Puerto Rican university, it adds a layer of authenticity that a professional studio recording cannot replicate. However, the legal reality is that this authenticity has a price that the label was seemingly unwilling to pay. By not putting these contributors on a formal contract, Remus Entertainment allegedly saved millions in upfront fees and back-end royalties. The lawsuit argues that the use of Rivera's voice extends far beyond the songs and into merchandise, social media ads, and promotional tour videos, making her an unwilling brand ambassador for a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. The payout here is the understanding that what fans see as a cool vibe is actually a high-value asset that should have been negotiated in a boardroom, not taken from a university hallway. In the fourth section of the filing, we see the true financial stakes of the 2026 Super Bowl and the internal chaos it has caused. Sources close to the NFL and Rock Nation, as reported by CBC News on January 17, 2026, indicate that there is extreme internal tension regarding the halftime set list. If the court issues a preliminary injunction against the use of these specific tracks, Bad Bunny may have to scrap a significant portion of his planned performance just weeks before the big game. The reality is that the NFL is a corporate machine that avoids legal entanglements at all costs. If Bad Bunny's signature songs are legally tainted by claims of theft, his historic moment could be overshadowed by court dates and settlement negotiations. The payout for the artist is a potential PR disaster that could alienate his core base of female fans who view this as a form of gendered exploitation in a male-dominated industry. We're talking about a performance that costs millions to produce, now hanging by a thread because of a voice tag from 2018. Moving into the fifth point, we must address the right of publicity and the legal definition of a voice. This isn't just a matter of who wrote the lyrics, it is a matter of who owns the biological identity of the sound. Per the legal filings, Tainaly Rivera is seeking $16 million, not just for the music, but for the violation of her privacy and the unauthorized commercial use of her persona. Per the legal filings, her voice has been saturated into the public consciousness to the point where she cannot walk down the street in Puerto Rico without hearing herself being used to sell products she never endorsed. This is a right of publicity case that could set a massive precedent for how found sounds and voice tags are handled in the age of viral hits. If Rivera wins, it could trigger a wave of lawsuits from other individuals whose vocal textures have been sampled by major artists without permission. The payout is a complete shift in how labels approach the sampling of human voices in the digital age. Finally, we look at the sixth point, the right of public standing and the defensive response from Remus Entertainment and the fresh celebrity tea they are trying to suppress. According to a statement released on January 17, 2026, the label claims that these allegations are opportunistic and designed to extort the artist right before his biggest global stage. They argue that the perreo tag is a common cultural phrase that cannot be owned by a single person. However, the plaintiff's lawyers have countered with acoustic analysis evidence, claiming that the frequency and pitch of the recording are an exact match for Rivera's voice. This expert lens suggests that the cultural phrase defense may not hold up if the actual audio file used in the song is proven to be the one she recorded in 2018. The payout for the industry is the realization that even the biggest stars are not immune to the laws of intellectual property, no matter how much cultural weight they carry. In summary, the Bad Bunny voice scandal is a collision between the casual nature of creative collaboration and the cold reality of global music litigation. We have proven that the expectation of a natural creative process is often a cover for a lack of legal paperwork that protects the small creators. The insider takeaway is that in 2026, your vibe is a commodity. commodity, and if you don't own the paper, you don't own the career. Bad Bunny's legal team has already signaled they will fight these claims, but with the Super Bowl looming, the pressure to settle is higher than ever. The receipts provided in the January 14 filing, ranging from university records to metadata timestamps, suggest that this case won't go away as easily as a social media trend. To see how this same theft playbook is being used by other major labels to manufacture viral moments, and how the industry hides these settlements from the public, you have to look at the full breakdown of the streaming industry's hidden contracts. You cannot understand the upcoming Super Bowl drama without knowing who actually owns the rights to the hits being performed. To get the full story on the legal wars happening behind the scenes of your favorite songs and why your favorite artist might be next, you need to watch the Fresh Celebrity playlist right now. It is the only place where we map out every stolen sample, every hidden payout, and every redacted name in the industry.